Today I will talk to you about an animal that is even older than the dinosaurs. These creatures were on Earth even before the dinosaurs walked upon it. While meteors were falling to the ground, those creatures managed to survive by hiding underneath them. They even managed to endure the ice ages. The entire history of humanity is incomparably short when juxtaposed with the evolutionary story of these beings. I am talking about turtles and tortoises. Today I am going to talk to you about the biology, anatomy, and life of turtles. Grab your tea or coffee and enjoy this documentary. If you are ready, let's begin. Turtles are among the creatures with the most perfect design in nature. Living on Earth during the Triassic period nearly 220 million years ago, these creatures have managed to remain fundamentally the same from that time until now. Evolution has not altered turtles. In fact, it has not even found the need to change them. This is because the design of these creatures was functioning in a highly orderly manner. Odontochelys semi-testacea, which is thought to be the first ancestor of turtles, was a turtle that possessed a semi-developed shell structure. Its back section was not completely closed, but the part in the abdominal region, namely the plastron, was already present. This suggests to us that the evolution of the turtle's shell occurred in a gradual manner, and let us also note this astonishing fact. Together with crocodiles and birds, turtles are creatures that are closer to archosaurs, which are relatives of the dinosaurs. In other words, these small and quiet creatures are, in terms of their origin, not actually very far from us. Today, nearly 360 different turtle species sustain their lives across the globe. A portion of these species swims in the depths of the oceans, a portion burrows under the sand in deserts, and another portion walks upon the wet floor of tropical rainforests. The common purpose of all of them is that shell, that unique, perfect engineering masterpiece of a shell. Let's address the biggest misconception people have about turtles. Can turtles take off their shells? Turtles cannot remove their shells. Because the shell is an essential part of the turtle's spine and ribs, you cannot separate a turtle from its shell, just as you cannot separate yourself from your own spine. A turtle's shell is not a house, it is an organ system. The turtle's shell consists of two main sections. The upper section is called the carapace. This part is formed by the fusion of the spine and the widened ribs. The lower section is called the plastron and originates from the breastbone. These two main sections are connected to each other on the sides by a structure known as the bridge. The surface of the shell, on the other hand, consists of plates called scutes. These plates possess a structure that contains keratin. The keratin found in your nails and hair is also present in the shell of turtles. In some turtle species, however, these plates are not present, and the shell consists of soft skin. The leatherback sea turtle is one of the best examples of this. There are nerve endings inside the shell. That is to say, a turtle can feel its own shell. When you touch and pet a turtle's shell, the turtle feels that you are touching and petting it. When you hit a turtle's shell, it hurts. This is a serious fact that most people do not know. The shell is not a shield. The shell is a vital, living structure for the life of turtles. Now let's take a look inside the shell of turtles. Turtle anatomy is one of the wonderful examples of how evolutionary pressures can produce astonishing results. The spinal bones of the turtle are fused with the neural plates located in the middle of the carapace. In other words, the turtle literally carries its bones on the outside. The neck and tail vertebrae of the turtle have a free structure. For this reason, the turtle can move its head and tail. The bones of the limbs are also connected but free, meaning this allows them to move their legs. A thoroughly interesting skeletal feature of turtles is that their shoulder bones, scapula, are located inside the rib cage. In all other vertebrates, the shoulder bones are outside the ribs. Turtles develop this anatomical change during the evolutionary process, and this has begun to be examined step by step through embryological studies. As the shoulder bones grow, they begin to migrate inward and finally end up trapped under the shell. This is where things start to become seriously different. Normal vertebrates expand their rib cages and muscles begin to contract while breathing. Turtles cannot perform this. Because their rib cages are immobile and rock solid, the turtle's shell limits them. So, how do turtles breathe in and out? Turtles breathe in and out by using specialized muscles. These muscles serve to move the abdominal organs forward and backward, and this applies pressure to the lungs, allowing them to exhale. On the other hand, some aquatic turtles can take water into the region known as the cloaca, the opening beneath the tail, and perform gas exchange. Yes, a portion of turtles truly breathes through water. This is called cloacal bursae respiration. Turtles that spend the winter season at the bottom of the water manage for long periods with this tactic. The heart of turtles has 3 chambers, 2 atria, and a partially divided ventricle. This structure allows oxygenated and deoxygenated blood to mix to a certain extent, but this does not mean it is underdeveloped. In fact, this structure allows the turtle's body to respond flexibly to different conditions. Sea turtles diving into cold waters are able to manage oxygen distribution better because of this. These reptiles do not possess teeth. Since they do not have teeth, they use their hard and sharp-structured beak. This beak is designed differently according to the diet of the turtle species. The beaks of meat-eating turtle species are sharper and more pointed in structure. The beaks of herbivorous turtles, on the other hand, are flatter and designed to be suitable for chewing. The beak of a sea turtle is strong enough to rip a jellyfish into pieces very easily. The digestive systems of sea turtles are designed to be very slow, but this does not mean that sea turtles are weak. In fact, it means that this is a very good strategy. Having a slow digestive system allows them to generate maximum energy from food. This means that turtles can sustain their lives for a long time by consuming little food. If you think that turtles are stupid or insensitive creatures, you are highly mistaken. Because these creatures are living beings that possess seriously excellent sensory systems, these reptiles have eyes good enough to see and distinguish colors. Furthermore, as a result of certain studies, it has been proven that sea turtles can also see ultraviolet, UV, light. Since their eyes are located on the sides of their heads, they are creatures with a wide angle of vision. While land-dwelling turtle species see near distances better, marine turtle species see far distances better. These reptiles do not have an external ear opening. However, this does not lead to the conclusion that turtles cannot hear. On both sides of their heads, there is a structure resembling an eardrum covered with a delicate layer of skin. They are generally sensitive to low-frequency sounds and vibrations. They can also perceive ground vibrations very well thanks to their legs and shells. The sense of smell in turtles is truly developed to an excellent level. Turtles are reptiles that can perceive scent not only through the receptors in their noses, but also via the Jacobson's organ in their mouths. This is a truly excellent feature for detecting food and noticing a mate. It is thought that male turtles follow the direction of scent marks in order to find female turtles. This is a truly incredible feature. Sea turtles are excellent creatures that can perceive the Earth's magnetic field. This is one of the sea turtle's navigation abilities, operating much like a GPS. This is the mystery behind how they travel thousands of kilometers and return exactly to the beach where they came into the world. It is estimated that turtles manage this incredible ability due to biominerals containing iron. A turtle's head works just like a navigation system. Turtles are cold-blooded creatures. Do not think of this as being lazy or low in energy. Cold-bloodedness is related to the temperature of the environment and refers to adapting body temperature accordingly. This is a truly incredible strategy. A warm-blooded creature must constantly consume its energy to keep its body temperature at a constant level. But a turtle does not do this. It goes out in sunny weather, warms up, and becomes energetic. When the weather starts to cool down, it begins to slow down. This reduces its energy expenditure to an extremely high degree. A turtle, depending on its size and species, is resilient enough to sustain its life for months or even years without consuming any food at all. Galapagos giant tortoises are a turtle species capable of continuing their lives for a year without consuming food. For this reason, they were utilized as live provisions on ships sailing long distances at sea. It is a merciless truth, but it is one of the signs showing how strong their metabolism is. Hibernation, or by its scientific name torpor, is the most impressive manifestation of this metabolism. Turtles that sustain their lives in cold regions retreat to the bottom of the water or deep into the soil and stay for months with a metabolism rate close to zero. Their hearts begin to beat only a few times per minute. These turtles use oxygen truly very well. When the spring season arrives, they wake up again and continue their lives once more. The way these reptiles reproduce and multiply is also truly interesting. It is a highly interesting situation both in terms of strategy and biology. In most turtle species, gender is not determined by genetics. So, how does the gender of turtles become established? The gender of turtles emerges according to the incubation temperature of the egg. When there are higher temperatures, female turtles mostly come into the world, whereas when there are lower temperatures, male turtles come into the world. Well, what happens if the air temperature is moderate? If the air temperature is moderate, the gender of the turtle results in a mixed situation. This system is called temperature-dependent sex determination. This system indicates that there is a truly critical risk in terms of climate change. As a result of rising beach temperatures, the number of female turtles begins to increase, and due to too many female turtles coming into the world, the balance of gender in populations begins to get shattered. As a result of research conducted in the environment of Australia's Great Barrier Reef, it has been proven that in some regions more than 90% of turtle hatchlings are actually female turtles. This is a problem that makes the reproduction of turtles' generation difficult in the long run. Sea turtles return to the beaches where they came into the world years later to engage in sexual intercourse and lay eggs. This long journey can be thousands of kilometers in length. The female turtle comes ashore and walks secretly into the night. She begins to dig the sand with her hind legs. Turtles spend hours as a result of this work. She deposits her eggs in a spot, covers them up, and begins to head toward the sea quietly and calmly. The beach now chooses the baby turtle that will be able to sustain its life. Land-dwelling turtle species also apply a similar logic. They deposit their eggs in the soil, cover the eggs, and leave. Parenting ends at this point. When the baby turtles are born, they are faced with a completely solitary situation. This strategy is known as the R strategy: low investment, higher number of eggs. A sea turtle can lay more than 100 eggs at one time. A small portion of the hatchlings emerging from the eggs continues their lives, and those that continue their lives will do so for decades or even centuries. How do turtles possess such a long life? A definitive answer to this question is not yet known. However, we have some ideas. The cell renewal times of these reptiles are in a seriously slow state. This slowness also slows down the accumulation of DNA damage. Some researchers propose that turtles exhibit negligible senescence. In other words, as a turtle ages, its risk of dying does not increase. The probability of a young turtle continuing its life and the probability of a 30-year-old turtle continuing its life are almost in the same state. Galapagos giant tortoises are a turtle species that can sustain their lives up to 150 to 200 years. Jonathan, a Seychelles giant tortoise, was nearly 190 years old as of 2023 and was still sustaining his life. He might have come into the world in the 1830s. A creature born when the Napoleonic Wars had not yet ended is still out there sunbathing and continuing its life today. The 360 turtle species prove how the same basic logic can be beautifully diversified into excellent forms. The leatherback sea turtle, Dermoculus coriacea, is the largest turtle species living in the world. The body length of this turtle species can reach up to 2 meters, and its weight can go up to 900 kilograms. Distinct from other turtles, it does not possess a true hard shell. This turtle species has a soft, leathery carapace, It is a turtle species strong enough to make deep dives. It has been captured by cameras swimming below 1,000 meters. This turtle species is powerful enough to keep its body temperature stable to a certain extent, which is one of the characteristics that sets it apart from other turtle species. This turtle species eats jellyfish. The Galapagos giant tortoise, Chelonoidus niger. These giant tortoises that interested Darwin are divided into 15 subspecies that have become distinct island by island among the Galapagos Islands. The shell shapes and body lengths of the species on different islands are of a varying structure. This is one of the results of adapting to the vegetation of the island they live on. The species whose necks elongated to reach higher vegetation have a different appearance from the species that consume low-lying plants. Darwin examined these changes and gained ideas of great importance on this road leading toward the theory of evolution. The Matamata, Chelys fimbriata. Living in the Amazon basin, this turtle species is the exact opposite of everything that comes to mind when a turtle is mentioned. It does not have a flat shell. Instead, it looks like a pile of bark and leaves. The head and neck of this turtle species are excellently intriguing. Possessing a long snorkel-like nose, fringed skin flaps, and a wide mouth structure, the Matamata is also a turtle species that resembles a living pile of leaves. It ambushes its prey. The Matamata opens its mouth suddenly and pulls the fish inside by vacuuming the water, beginning to eat them. No one would even think that it is a wild turtle. The box turtle, Terrapene species. Native to North America, these turtle species are turtle species that can literally fit into a box. A hinged part is present on their plastrons, and due to this, they are a turtle species capable of closing the lids by drawing their heads and forelegs inside the plastron. When they retreat inside and shut tight, no open space remains on the shell. The shell of this turtle species is truly a wonderful masterpiece. Soft-shell turtles, Trionychidae. These turtle species are turtles that possess a leathery, flexible carapace instead of a hard shell. These turtle species are strong enough to swim very fast. They are turtle species that generally face difficult circumstances in China because people hunt these animals extensively. It is known that some species hide their entire bodies and only project their long tube-shaped noses to the surface of the water. Turtles have been reptiles that left vast marks throughout the course of human history. The image of a turtle holding the world on its back is seen across Hindu, Chinese, and Native American indigenous cultures alike. Musical instruments have been designed from turtle shells, their skins have been used, and their eggs have been eaten. However, the state of turtles today is worrisome. More than half of the specified turtle species in the world are on the endangered or vulnerable list. The risks are multifaceted. Habitat destruction, coastal development, pollution, climate change, overhunting, illegal pet trade, and accidental injuries place the generation of turtles at risk. Sea turtles consume plastic bags thinking they are jellyfish and suffocate. They get caught in fishermen's nets. They can receive damage by colliding with the propellers of marine engines. On land, the problem is no different. Land tortoises are increasingly being divided into isolated populations due to habitat fragmentation. Isolated populations begin to lose their long-term genetic diversity. And let me also state this: the slow reproduction and multiplication of turtles means that they cannot buffer against risks. A fish species whose numbers have decreased can regulate itself within years. However, a turtle species whose numbers have decreased needs decades, perhaps even centuries, to be able to regulate itself. People may think of turtles as stupid reptiles. This amounts to insulting turtles. As a result of experiments examined in laboratories, they have explained that turtles are creatures possessing social learning skills. A turtle commits to memory how a different turtle overcomes a problem by watching it. This is a feature previously found only in more intelligent animals. Turtles also possess memories that last for a long time. They are creatures with memories strong enough to remember the place they left. They are living beings capable of learning feeding habits. They have memories strong enough to remember their owners. It has been observed that giant Galapagos tortoises are in a different close bond with researchers. These tortoise species form bonds with people they know and distance themselves by not forming bonds with people they do not know. This is one of the results of a kind of social understanding capability. Are turtles creatures that communicate? Yes, they are creatures that communicate in a limited way. They generally begin to make sounds during mating season. It is known that baby turtles are in communication via sound with each other before emerging from the inside of the egg, and due to this, they synchronize their emergence processes. Acting in a collective manner is a safer behavior than acting individually. Turtles are reptiles that undertake a critical role in their ecosystems. Land tortoises are turtle species that, after consuming seeds, transport them to long distances and begin to spread them across the entire area via their feces. In the Galapagos, it is thought that a portion of the distribution of cactus seeds is related to giant tortoises. The soils upon which turtles walk and travel gain a different structure due to trampling and defecation. This serves to prepare the ground for different plant species to grow and thrive. Sea turtles, on the other hand, consume seagrasses, serving to keep them healthy. Seagrasses are slow-growing plants. When continuous grazing is not performed, they grow too long and serve to reduce the light permeability of the sea. Green sea turtles are thought to perform good work similar to a pasture manager. Turtle eggs also provide a quite grand benefit for the order of the ecosystem. A great number of eggs and hatchling turtles are consumed as food by wild animals. This is a serious part of energy transfer. The decomposition of turtle eggs on sandy beaches adds nutrients to the sand, providing a benefit. This is highly beneficial for the growth of coastal plants. The gopher tortoise, Gopherus polyphemus, is also known as a keystone species, meaning if these turtle species were not around, the ecosystem would seriously go downhill. If these turtles were not present in nature, some habitats would end up in a very different poor state. Look deeply into the eyes of a turtle. Look at those eyes possessing that silent, seemingly all-knowing perfect masterpiece. Those eyes reflect a 220 million year history and a past with a perfect masterpiece structure. That shell is a part of the most wonderful design found in the world. It's moving in a slow state. That quiet and calm stance of its do not mean a sign of weakness. It means that it is a strategy as strong as iron. Turtles are reptiles that can teach us a lot. They are reptiles that have a presence, not acting in a hurry, carrying the storm on their backs, and being at peace with time. Perhaps the secret of their sustaining their lives throughout millions of years stems from this. Not overthinking everything, making one's shield well, and continuing little by little are the behaviors we need to learn from turtles. To ensure more documentaries come your way, do not forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and turn on notifications. Goodbye.